169 days separated the final out of the 2025 NLDS and opening day at Citizens Bank Park this week, and it was officially time for the Phillies to embark on a new season after a long and taxing winter. And the Phillies turned over a new leaf by turning things over to a new starter. For the first time in his career, Christopher Sanchez was given the opening day nod, and Sanchez did not disappoint. He rewarded the Phillies with 6 shutout innings and 10 strikeouts. It was the 8th time in Sanchez's career that he reached the double-digit strikeout mark. He did it 4 times last year on his way to a second-place NL Cy Young finish. The 10 strikeouts on opening day were the most by a Phillies starter in the last almost 30 years, dating back to 1997 when Curt Schilling did it for the Phils. No surprise, Sanchez's location was impeccable in this one, peppering the bottom of the zone with that sinker changeup combo that we've come to know and love. He got 13 whiffs, and over 30% of his 87 pitches were either whiffs or called strikes. Offensive productivity for the Phillies came early in this one. Kyle Schwarber hit his first home run of the 2026 season in the bottom of the first, driving in 2 runs for the Phils. And then it was Alec Boehm adding 3 more in the bottom of the 5th, chasing Rangers starter Nathan Eovaldi before he was able to pick up 15 outs in this game. Kyle Backus did have some trouble nailing things down in the top of the 9th as the lefty came into a game that was 5-0, but really struggled. He was unable to secure more than just 1 out. He gave up 3 hits, including a home run and 3 runs over 20 pitches. That forced the Phillies to have to kind of go to somebody they didn't expect to use, Jhoan Duran, who came into the game with a 5-3 lead. He was able to nail things down for the final 2 outs of the game, picking up the save and the win for the Phillies in the process with a 5-3 win for the team. Now, the save, it was the first in franchise history on opening day. Kind of hard to believe, but it's true. It was the first save for them in over 50 years on opening day. Now let's flash forward to game 2. After the day off on Friday, the Phillies were back at it on Saturday looking for a series victory over the Texas Rangers. Well, it was 70 and sunny and beautiful at Citizens Bank Park for game 1. Flash forward just 48 hours later, the weather significantly less cooperative. It was miserable at Citizens Bank Park. Think 30 degrees colder, windy, and just kind of a gross day for baseball. And the Texas Rangers pitching was able to utilize that, plus the day off, to take control in game 2, really neutralizing the Phillies offense from there out, and for 8+ innings in the second game. And it wasn't even the scheduled starter who did it, Jacob deGrom. deGrom was scratched from the start earlier in the day with neck stiffness, which led Jacob Latz to have to step in for a spot start, and really nothing but respect and a tip of the cap for Latz, who gave the Rangers 4+ innings of 1-hit ball in a game that he really wasn't even expected to start. And the 1 hit, it was kind of questionable off the bat of JT Realmuto, if we're being honest. Now, meanwhile, Aaron Nola, he was fine, but he was pretty uninspiring in this one. He gave up 5 hits and 7 base runners in total over 5 innings. He did strike out 7 Rangers hitters, giving up 3 runs along the way, which kind of has come to form for him in most of Aaron Nola's career. He was hindered by the long ball, a solo home run by Corey Seager on the first pitch that he saw on the day, and a 2-run homer from Jake Burger later in the game, who really needed that one to justify how bad his defense was in this one. We'll talk a little bit more about how bad Burger's defense was in game 2 a little bit later in this recap. Now, I will say the one thing that I asked from Aaron Nola heading into 2026 that he did not do a good job in 2025 of was getting ahead early in the count. Other than the home run that he gave up from Corey Seager, I thought he was significantly better in getting strike 1. In fact, he threw strike 1 to 15 of the 22 hitters that he faced. Now, he did give up 2 hits on the first pitch, but he held Rangers hitters to a 182 average when he was ahead in the count in this game. Now, last year, different story. A 236 average and a near 600 opponent OPS when Nola was ahead, which is just not something that you expect from a pitcher when they get ahead in the count. But even with a subpar to okay start from Aaron Nola, the Phillies were able to hang around with some solid bullpen work and sprung to life in the 9th inning. They were down to their final out when they got a bloop base hit and a walk to set up first and second. That's when Adolis Garcia came through. He got second life after Jake Burger dropped an easy pop-up. That defense was rough, and Garcia took advantage with not only his first hit, but his first RBI as a Philly, a double into left field. Brandon Marsh tied the game with another 2-strike hit. The Phillies did a lot of damage with 2 strikes in the 9th, sending this game into an unexpected extra inning. But it was the Rangers who grabbed a pair of runs off Jhoan Duran in the 10th to put the pressure on the Phillies offense, who were only able to score once in the bottom of the extra frame. Phillies lose game 2 5-4. Now let's look ahead to today's game. The rubber match looked pretty similar from what we saw from an offensive standpoint in Saturday's game to Sunday's game. After getting no hit into the 5th inning on Saturday, Mackenzie Gore won up Jacob Latz, getting into the 6th without giving up a hit to the Phillies. Now the Phils did grab 2 runs in the 6th and chase Gore out of the game, but a bleeding single from Justin Crawford was what got it started, and it took 6 innings to get there. Now, Jesus Luzardo, his opposition, I don't think he was particularly sharp from a command standpoint in this game. I thought his stuff was decent, especially the slider. He looked strong, from a stuff standpoint, but his command was just off. He generated 14 whiffs over 6 innings. That's the good, but he threw just 41% of his pitches in the zone. That's the bad. And 2 of his misses that were in the zone were hit hard, 103 miles an hour and 105 miles an hour off the bats of Brandon Nimmo and Andrew McCutchen, each of which resulted in a home run, a 3-run homer for Kutch and a 2-run home run for Brandon Nimmo. And that represents 5 of the 6 runs that Jesus Luzardo gave up in this game. Now, it's the first series of the year, so I'm not going to overreact even in the slightest little bit. And in fact, I'm not even sure if I'm going to react. It's 3 games out of 162, if we're being honest. But it was not a strong offensive series for the Phillies, especially their top 3 hitters, Trea Turner, Bryce Harper, and Kyle Schwarber, were just off in this one. They went just 1 for 10 with 3 walks in Game 3, 1 for 15 in Game 2, 3 for 12 in the first game of the season, which in total comes out to be a 5 for 37 series for your 3 biggest hitters, and an on-base percentage of just 200, 8 for 40 in their 40 plate appearances over the first 3 games. Again, not going to overreact to just 3 games, but a pretty sluggish start from the Phillies' top 3, especially in games 2 and 3. The series loss marks the 2nd time in 4 years the Phillies have dropped an opening series to the Texas Rangers. Now, the beauty of baseball is there's another game right around the corner and another series right around the corner. In fact, the Phillies will be right back at it tomorrow when they open up their first NL East series of the year. It's a 3-game set as the Washington Nationals come to town. First pitch in the game tomorrow is scheduled for 6:40. You'll have a 6:40 game on Monday and Tuesday, and an afternoon business person special game on Wednesday. Looking ahead, Tuesday's game, we'll get Andrew Painter's Major League debut. We saw Justin Crawford's Major League debut this weekend, and I thought overall Justin Crawford was pretty good. Got on base several times. The defense, especially that play up against the corner in Monty's alley in Game 2, was really, really strong. Now we'll get an opportunity to see the other rookie in action. Andrew Painter makes his Major League debut. He's scheduled to pitch on Tuesday for the Phillies. So we'll look forward to that 3-game series. We'll especially look forward to Tuesday's game against the Nationals with Andrew Painter making his Major League debut. And we'll talk more about it throughout the week right here on Philly Central.